There is new legal fallout tonight from one of those tornadoes that leveled a candle factory in Mayfield. 8 workers were killed when that building collapsed in the middle of the storm, and now survivors are suing their employer, saying they weren't allowed to go home early when the weather started to get bad. Attorney Amos Jones is representing several of those survivors. He joins us live tonight. Thank you so much for making the time for us.
Thank you.
So you're alleging the candle company, Mayfield Consumer Products, told its workers they would be fired, right, if they stopped working and got to safety, despite all the ample warnings that the tornadoes were coming.
Numerous workers were told that if they were to leave, then they would be punished. And we have corroborating witness, real-time evidence of that and other items. And it was unfortunate because some factories were closed in light of the warnings since early in the afternoon.
So how many clients are joining in this lawsuit so far? I know you're representing people who survived. Are you also representing the family members of those who lost their lives?
We are representing survivors, and that is clear in the complaint. The 102 persons who survived, and thank goodness there were not more than 8 deaths that night. It was a horrible tornado. And sometimes tornadoes happen, sometimes they happen at workplaces. But it's the intentional actions with regard to intimidating and coercing and intentionally causing these persons to be in harm's way that our clients, of whom there are numerous victims, believe that there's recompense for that. And it's a conservative complaint, a conservative lawsuit, because we're inclusive of 102 people. Now, we have nearly 10 clients, approximately 10 clients, and a few have come who believe that they too fall in this predicament of having been left in harm's way unjustifiably according to Kentucky law. So there will be more clarity coming, but it's a conservative complaint, and it really includes the essence of what went on there that did not need to go on, that left these employees, loyal, compliant employees, unsafe.
Were your clients injured?
Absolutely. Many of them were hospitalized. Some of them are having to go back for medical treatment. There's permanent nerve damage. There are people with mobility problems, people who need assisted living in a sense, and the injuries are bad. They're very blessed to have life, and they're very grateful for that. They're grateful for the rescue workers and even colleagues who helped them through the evening. Some of them were trapped for several hours, and it was just a horrible situation. And what really concerned these clients is that while they were recovering and telling their stories, they were accused of lying about having been told that they would face repercussions, including termination, if they left their jobs. And that really hurt. And it was at that point that people concluded they were going to have to take legal action. It's unfortunate. People make mistakes. Accidents happen, including at work. Sometimes people even die. But the responsibility for that is allocated. And there are legal means in the face of intransigence and in the face of a total assassination of character, and claiming that these in good standing employees were lying about being warned about leaving, that cannot stand.
Well, we did hear, I'm sorry to interrupt you, we did hear back from the candle company, from Bob Ferguson, who's a spokesperson for Mayfield Consumer Products. He said, quote, "We have had multiple managers and lawyers look through the lawsuits. None of them have any merit. We are retaining a team of safety experts to come in and review our processes." He says employees were free to leave without retribution. Your response?
Our evidence refutes that, and we don't file meritless lawsuits here. This is a spokesperson who attacked people by name, and when we expand this complaint, which we'll be doing, more will come to light. But I would advise Mr. Ferguson to consider the resources at his disposal and meet me back on here perhaps one day, because we have the facts, the data, the information, the corroborating witness statements, and recording.
All right. Well, Amos Jones, we really appreciate your time tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.